complete sentence.
So you did white cross, and this is how you did it. And although this was a really good cross, it was 2 moves longer than it could have been. And that 3-move cross would look like this. But it was pretty fast either way, and you managed to look ahead into your first pair pretty well. So a pretty easy fix. So you then went for your first pair like this. And that's a really inefficient way of doing this pair. The better way of doing it would be like this. And in this Scrambles case, it actually sets up for a really easy 4-move second pair, like that. Or let's say you've already done the first 3 moves of your solution and you have your pair like this. The better way to do it would be the standard alg, which goes like this. And this is a very important basic insert that you need to know. Then you did your second pair, which was these two, blue, orange, and you did them like this. So I find this solution very strange because you hid the corner like this, then moved the edge, and then brought it back out, setting up for a 3-move pair. But you just could have done this solution 2-gen with just R and U moves like this, which is much faster and easier to do. So your third pair was this green-red pair, and you did it like this. So this is a really bad solution for this pair. Whenever you have a corner twisted like this and an edge matching with its center, you can always insert it with a combination of either double sexy or double reverse sexy. And in this case, it's double lefty reverse sexy, so that would go like this. And that's 7 moves compared to the 15 that you did for your solution. And just for kicks, if you want to influence this corner to make your last pair easier, you can actually cancel into a sledgehammer. And now you don't have to rotate for this pair at all. You then did your last pair like this. Okay, so that was a really bad solution because you had like 3 rotations and it was a total of 21 moves. And that's really bad in itself because no F2L pair solution should be more than like, say, 13 moves. And the general standard solution for when you have a corner facing up in the top layer with the solved edge like this, you either do triple sexy or triple reverse sexy. I use the second one. But they literally do the same exact thing, so it doesn't really matter. But you were holding it from this angle, so you either could have done a U2 and done it from the back with lefty moves, like this. Or what I would have done in a speed solve, I would have rotated and then done it with R moves in the back. Like that. You then did OLL2 look like this. And just to share the OLL alg for this, it would go like this. But I also recommend that you use this alg for this L case. It's much easier to do regroupless. Or if you want to move the same exact pieces that this algorithm does, then do it from this angle and do this. Either way, you shouldn't be rotating downward in order to do this cross OLL. So then you had this PLL, which you did like this. So you did a JA perm in 2 looks, which isn't good. You want to be able to do full PLL in 1 step. And the standard alg for this would go like this.
Even possibly doable.
So you did your X cross like this. So this was not an efficient cross. You did 15 moves to solve cross and 1 pair, but you could have solved the cross by itself in 6 moves and then solved this free pair in another 3, which would look like this. As you keep on solving, it's important to know which scrambles are worth it to go for the X cross and which scrambles aren't. Usually if your X cross is going to take more than around 10 or 11 moves, it's not going to be worth it. And you should just go for a regular cross instead and try to track your first pair. You then did this pair as your second pair, which you did like this. So this was not an efficient way of solving this pair. You could have done it like this. Or like this. Also, another good option would be to go for the green-orange pair, because you could keyhole it like this. You then did your third pair like this. So this was also a very inefficient solution. First of all, in this general scenario, you can easily pair up this corner and this edge by doing U, and then L prime U, L, and now you have a free pair. So in order to make the whole solution rotationless, we pair up the corner and edge, and then we insert it with a rotationless insert, which would go like this. And that's a really important insert that you need to know. Another good option is this. And for your last pair, you did it like this. So again, this was a very inefficient solution. And just like the previous pair, we can pair up this corner and this edge like this, and then simply insert it. That's the fastest way of doing this pair. Or of course, from before you rotated, you can do it rotationless from this angle too. That can be done in a few ways. Those include this, this, and this. You then had this dot OLL, which you did like this. So the OLL alg for this would be actually 2 different combinations of F sexy F prime. From this angle, you would start with wide F sexy wide F prime, and now you're just a U away from F sexy F prime. And that's the entire OLL. Then you had F perm, which you did like this. And same thing for this PLL, you need to know the one look alg for this PLL, and it's actually not that different from the T perm. You do R prime, U prime, F prime, and then you start your T perm. And then instead of doing the last 2 moves of T perm, you do R prime, U, R, and that's the entire F perm. So since you already know T perm so well, learning that algorithm won't be that hard. So for your third solve, you also did an X cross, and this is how you did it. So that was a 10 move X cross, not the worst thing you could have done, but it had 1 rotation and some awkward regrips, so we can find a better solution. Here are a couple 7 move crosses that are better. Or this. Or this. With the third solution, there might be an urge to do an X cross, something like this. And then insert this pair like that, making the X cross. That's actually not worth it compared to doing the regular cross. Once you do your cross, you actually have a free pair here, and you can actually do 2 F2L pairs in 6 moves total. That would look like this. Like that. You then did your second pair like this. And that was a very, very bad solution. First of all, you should not have picked this red-green pair at all, because you had a blue-orange pair that was 3 moves away from being solved right in front of you, and you didn't see it. Also, if you inserted the blue-orange pair first, you would have made yourself the red-green pair that you did a Y2 rotation for, and you could have inserted it with just 3 moves. And second of all, you did a Y2 rotation in order to solve this pair, which is pointless because you could have done it from the back like this, which is the same exact thing as inserting this pair as well, and then inserting this pair. You then did your third pair like this. Okay, so this is a really bad solution for this blue-orange pair. This is a really common, easy pair that you find during solves, and the best way of doing it, which is also the standard, would be to bring the corner down, separate the edge, and fast, that would look like this. It's important to understand that a lot of F2L pairs are simple 3-move setups away from being a 3-move insert away. And a lot of what optimizing your F2L is finding out just how many pairs you can do by setting up into a 3-move insert. And for your last pair, you had the same case as last solve, which you did like this. And to reiterate, this case can just be solved like this. You then did your OLL like this. Pretty simple OLL, but just as a note, you can do this OLL like this from a U2 angle with F inverse sexy F prime. So I highly recommend you know that alg too. And then you did your R perm like this. So obviously this is a really bad way of solving this R perm. And the one look PLL alg for this R perm would go like this. So make sure you know that. So for your fourth solve, you did your cross like this. So a 10-move cross with 3 rotations is not really good. Here's a good 6-move cross I found. And it actually leads pretty well into this first pair. And second pair. So you then had a free pair, which you did like this. So I seriously don't understand why you did a wide D2 move instead of just doing a U2 and inserting it in the back like this. That way you would have seen this free pair much easier and then being able to insert it much easier like that. Also, an equally good thing to do would be to insert this 3-move blue-orange pair first and then insert the blue-red pair like this, which would be one easy rotationless alg. But when you did finish the first pair, you had this free pair over here, which you did like this. You had no reason to rotate to solve this pair. You could have just solved it like this. But I will say that because you inserted this pair like this from this angle, it influenced this corner to be oriented upwards, so that would make this pair a lot easier, which is actually the pair that you went for next. And you did that like this. Pretty straightforward. No complaints for that solution, but your execution was a little choppy, so just work on that. And you did this last pair like this. And again, the standard solution for this pair would just be this. So make sure you know that. And you had this OLL again, which you did the same way, like this. And you had the same J-perm as the first solve, which you did the same way. So I'm not going to reiterate that you need to learn the J-perm alg for this. So this was your cross for your last solve. So this is a 16-move cross. God's number for cross is 8, so you're doing literally twice as many moves as you should be doing for cross, and that's really bad. Here are a couple 6-move crosses that I found. Or this. And just as a note for the end of your solution for a cross, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves to insert this green edge, but you only needed 3. So you did your first F2L pair like this. So that was a 20 move solution with 2 rotations for just 1 pair, and although it created these 2 free pairs, it wasn't worth it to do 20 moves for 1 pair. Here are some good alternatives. Blue-red was 7 moves away, or even better, a 6 move solution, or blue-orange, which is also 6 moves. So this was your second pair, which you did like this. And although it's good that you noticed your free pair, you didn't notice this second free pair that you could have inserted like this. After which you could have inserted this pair like this. And then you would have had a free pair like that. So 3 free pairs. You then did your green-orange pair like this. So that was a pretty inefficient solution. You could have just rotated and done the standard, which is this. Or rotated and done the blue-orange pair like this. Or like this. And then you did your last pair like this. And again, this pair can just be solved like this. Or like this. You then did your OLL like this. And the OLL alg for this would go like this. It's actually pretty easy to memorize. You just take the pair out like this, do a U move, then do a sledgehammer, and then reinsert this pair but with RU2 R prime. A little faster, that would look like this. And you did your GA perm like this. And obviously T perm, U perm is not the best way of doing this. The one look G perm alg would go like this. So you have your basic idea of CFOP down, and you have one of the smoothest turning styles hands down that I've ever seen for a 20-second solver, so that's really good. But with that being said, let's get into what you should work on. So number 1 is your cross habits. You have a habit of having very long cross solutions, sometimes even rotating multiple times before you're even done with cross. What you need to do in order to fix this is to do a lot of untimed practice solves where you count how many moves your cross takes. For example, sit down and pick a scramble, then try to find the shortest cross you can. See if you can consistently get 8 moves or fewer. That's the first goal. If you can't seem to find any good cross solutions yourself, then go to CS Timer, go to Tools, go to Solver, and then it'll show you optimal solutions for all 6 cross colors. And then you can compare your solution with the optimal solution and see how far off you were. Make sure you go through the optimal solution slowly and understand for yourself why the solution works. That way you'll slowly build a much better understanding of how to form an efficient cross. Number 2 is your last layer algorithms. So this is definitely the easiest step to fix because all you really have to do is just learn some algorithms and implement them into your solves. But when I was first watching your first solve and I didn't know about what your PLL was going to look like, I really assumed that you knew full PLL just based on your turning because you had really mature turning that was very accurate and you never locked up. So I expected that your PLL was of the same level. So in last layer, the biggest thing that's slowing you down is your 2-look PLL. It's only 21 algorithms for full PLL, and it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. You know T perm, you know both U perms, you know H perm, you know Z perm. I'm guessing you know the A perms. So all you really have to learn are R perms, J perms, the G perms, the N perms, and V and Y, which honestly isn't that bad. And E perm. And you know F perm now since it's only a 3-move setup to T perm. So once you learn and get used to full PLL, you'll see that your last layer times will go from around 5 to 6 seconds to 2 to 4. Once you get that down, I suggest you start learning full OLL. But that's much less of a rush, and you should take your time with that. Full PLL is the priority right now, and is the quickest fix you can make on this list. And number 3 is your F2L habits. So by far, the biggest problem in your solving is your F2L efficiency. I was extremely surprised when I saw your F2L solutions while watching your videos compared to your turning, because you had an average of 45.6 moves per solve just for F2L. That's almost 50 moves just for F2L for each of your solves. This is very, very bad. What you need to do is to go to algdb.net and look through the F2L section and go through literally every single case. And if you're having a little bit of trouble, I highly suggest you check out JPerm's full F2L PDF, which covers every case from every angle and is a super good resource in case you're stuck. So as you're going through these F2L cases, you'll notice that a lot of these pairs are 3-move setups to either RU R prime, or RU R prime, or the mirror. For example, this is just a 3-move setup into RU R prime, which is, the setup move is RU to R prime. And then it's just a U prime and 3-move insert. Same thing with this pair, you're just doing 3 moves to separate them and set it up into LUL prime. So these pairs that have 3-move setups into these easy cases, you really need to internalize and not think of them as move by move, but think of them as a sequence. And you should be thinking, how do I rearrange these 2 pieces to get into RU R prime or a free pair? Another one of your bad F2L habits is picking bad pairs. There were quite a few times where you had a 3-move pair lying around and you didn't go for it because you didn't see it. This is called F2L tunnel vision, where you go for the first pair you see regardless of how good it is. What you're going to want to do to fix this is to do something called CFOP FMC, where you try to do FMC but only with the CFOP method. This will help you to think more strategically about pairs, and you'll start to go for smarter pairs that require fewer moves. A good starting goal for you is around 50 to 60 moves, which once you can get consistently, you'll have a much more efficient and consistent F2L. Pretty much like 90% of your F2L pair solutions across your 5 solves were very inefficient and unusable solutions. So make sure you have a baseline which you have all of your F2L solutions under. I'd say around 12 to 13 moves is the limit. And another quick note, although your turning is very good, there are a few bad finger trick habits that you have, namely using thumb for U moves like this. So you never want to do this because this ruins home grip and you never want to leave home grip. You want to have a more sturdy grip with the cube where you have your thumbs usually in home grip like this. And just get used to doing moves like that, you know, pretty easy RUL moves without doing too much thumb movement. So yeah, once you get all that down, you should be seeing a lot of improvement. The fact that you have good fundamentals is really going to help with the rate at which you'll improve. PLL and F2L will be the first thing to tackle, and after that, the other steps should be much easier to digest. Hopefully this is enough for you to work on, and I hope this helped. Happy practicing. Bye.